Start again. Just like to keep the videos small because the file size becomes big. So I'm just going to make some different movies. And what I can do with this is I can look at them when I get home. I can see some different... Now these are all pecan trees. You can see they've been neglected. So you do a lot of work to take care of them. But it just goes on and on and on. Trees. Very big. Every one of them is very big. And there's a very, very big over here. If you could see, I'll come back later. A very big oak tree here. It's got to be hundreds of years old. Walking back, and we're kind of coming up on the pad site that they've been working on. You can see there's a nice tree here. Very big, but you can see all the leaching. Everything needs to be cut back, and this is probably where I would probably put the driveway, right down this area here. You can see how you can see where there's an opening, and I will probably put the driveway here, and then down ahead of it, straight ahead, you can see that's like a little bayou. Usually it's dry now because we had a very bad year for rain, but usually full of water. So here we're coming up where would be the house is going to go. And over here you can see the different overgrowth. And over yonder you can see there's just acres and acres of quiet. There's no houses, there's nothing. Over here is my neighbor over here. Over there is the neighbor across the street. Really a nice piece of land. I paid a lot of money for it, too much, but I really like it. Hopefully I can build a nice house and not be in too much debt. I could just relax. So here's where the house would go. They've already put some dirt in. A pad, I guess. I heard it's good quality. It's sands from the Brazos River, so it's supposed to be very good pad material for this area. And way in the back you can see cows. Pad site. Back over there in the corner you can see the barn. It's all just a worn out building. And there's more big trees. There's just trees and trees, and this is why I bought this land. So I'm up on the pad. And there's the other house. You can see the horse trailer, and they have a nice steel house. It looks like what's called a barnuminium. So you can see they got tractors. It's just a whole nother world out here. I hope everybody just minds their own business. Just leaves me alone. That's all I want. They say that these pecans are grafted 4 different types of different pecans. As I'm approaching, this would be like what my back patio would be. There's the pad. You can see the truck out the driveway, the street. This is because I'm approaching. I'm approaching where I would put the garden. Where I want to put the garden. I would take this brush out here, clean it all out. So you can see horses have been here. There's lots of manure and all different kinds of very rich soil. So this is from the Brazos River soil. Some of the most, they won some sort of contest, some of the best, most very fertile ground. You can see it's very dark, and it's got more sand more sandy texture as opposed to the gumbo we have in Houston. This is where I want to put the garden. You can see it's an area right directly behind the house, and I would fence it off to keep the critters out. But you got about an acre here, I would say, of just open area, and I would put half of it would be a garden, and I would put an orchard. I think some nice apple and peaches and grapes and different kinds of fruits. I would try, maybe 10 raised beds, concrete raised beds. I was thinking about. Try to grow my own food. Put sprinklers. as I'm walking back on the property, now you can see the barn. They need to get it. They're gonna get everything out. I'm gonna take the sheathing off of it and resheath it, and that will probably be a pretty good barn. I'll put my workshop in there, and then over here, I'm gonna fence off some other animals. I'm gonna put back here, I think, under this brush. Nobody can bother them. We're coming up to the back of the property, so I would probably back off this back quarter over here where the shop is, and then where a lot of this brushes. There's lots of shade. Yeah, there's lots of shade, and you can see a lot of baby trees coming in. These are pecan trees. Now this looks like an oak tree, like a younger oak. But you can see how nice and big these trees, I mean, some of them, they got to be 80 or 100 feet tall. I mean, they're just huge. I don't know if you can really tell. I don't know if you can tell how big they really are. Maybe turn this. Yeah, I started again. I don't know if you can really see how big these trees really are. They're huge. I mean, they're just really huge. Doing a good job. I'm an amateur for sure. But I just want you to get a panorama how peaceful it is here and quiet. And it's very nice. You don't hear anything. Just dogs barking or birds chirping, cows mooing. There's a guy across the street who's got donkeys. I'm just going to go back because I saw some cows back here and you can kind of see, or bulls or whatever they kind of can see them. These are my neighbors. Very quiet. There's deer over here, different kinds of game. They've seen pigs, but you can see can you see them? Can you see the cows? The bulls are eating. There's lots of cows out here. Very nice. Back, so you can get a different perspective. You can see a lot of sun over here. This is where I want to put this garden, right over here. It's got plenty of sunlight all day long. Now we're in November and it's still got a lot of sun, so I think I could have a nice area to grow things right here, and lots of fruit trees. Lots of different vines. I'm going to fence it, the whole thing. I'm going to make the investment, fence it all in, and I can use the fencing for growing different things. Fencing for your support for vines, and to keep all the animals out, because they want to eat things a lot here. But I'm going to have drip irrigation. I want to have at least 8 raised beds of vegetables, and then I want to have raised beds for blueberries, raised beds for strawberries, different kinds of berries. Of course, I like fruit better than I like vegetables, so I'm going to try to become a better eater and more healthier, and try to save some money and collect seeds and get to a different way of life. It's me again, just walking back so you can get a different layout. Maybe I'll walk more towards this way, or should I walk? Yeah, I'll walk so you can kind of see what's going on with how the lay of the land. This, of course, is a down tree. I'm going to bulldoze it out. The trees that are, like all the clippings and everything, and these dead trees you can see everywhere. Not dead trees, oh, there's some dead trees, but there's dead branches. I'm going to have a big chipper come in, and I'm going to use it for mulch. And I'm going to use it all, I'm going to put a compost pile where my garden is, and I want to have some chickens. Definitely for eggs. I'd like to have them for meat. Again, walking back, coming up to the site of the house. I'd have to decide how I'm going to, I guess I got to put some sort of some walkways to get to and from the house to the barn. Once I live here, I don't think I'm going to want to leave too much. I like to work here and live here and eat here all day long. And I don't think I'm going to be leaving too much. This is going to be, I think, my final stopping ground. walking back, coming up to the site of the house. I'd have to decide how I'm going to, I guess I got to put some sort of some walkways to get to and from the house to the barn. Once I live here, I don't think I'm going to want to leave too much. I like to work here and live here and eat here all day long, and I don't think I'm going to be leaving too much. This is going to be, I think, my final stopping ground. I don't. Back. You can see getting close to the road, and you can just get an idea. I don't want to move the camera too fast. It's quite a long lot, right? And over there, you really can't see how wide it is because I didn't walk over to that bayou. This is maybe up in New England they'll call it a swamp, but here they call it a bayou. It's where when the river gets high enough, water will come in. We had a very bad year for water, but usually there's all kinds of wildlife and different insects and things, and I think that'll be good for the garden, bring in different insects. Back. You can see getting close to the road, and you can just get an idea. I don't want to move the camera too fast. It's quite a long lot, right? And over there, you really can't see how wide it is because I didn't walk over to that bayou. This is maybe up in New England they'll call it a swamp, but here they call it a bayou. It's where when the river gets high enough, water will come in. We had a very bad year for water, but usually there's all kinds of wildlife and different insects and things, and I think that'll be good for the garden, bring in different insects. Not only insects, there's lots of different kinds of, I've seen different kinds of birds and turtles and frogs and lots of different things here. It's just a beautiful little place for me. So, you can see the trees, there's just trees and trees. And I want to put the house under all those trees. I don't want to cut any of them down. I want to have the shade and be able to look at those trees. And over here, I'm coming up on there's an oak tree over here that's absolutely huge. He's coming up on an oak tree. He's absolutely huge. Now we're coming up to the front of it. You can even these trees here. Like this one looks like he's dead, right? So he looks like he's dying, right? So we'll get rid of him probably and chop him up and make mulch. Actually, what I wouldn't mind doing is, I don't know if any of these trees I could chop down and use it for the interior of the house, or make a table or some flooring or cabinets. But look at that oak tree. Look at the size of him. Look how fat he is. I want to walk along the road so you can see get a better glimpse of the road. Here's my neighbor across the street. Down here a little bit, you can kind of get an idea of what this is, the area about. He's got a nice house, right? Got a nice house, nice land, right? It's nice and quiet out of the way at a dead-end street. It's really, really nice. Coming up on the top, that's I guess where the power would come in. I plan on probably maybe burying that. The electric, I don't know if it matters or not, but just for the looks. It's me just walking down. I just want to be able to. Now this looks like a fig tree. I don't see any figs on it, which is amazing because we have lots of figs at home. Maybe he needs to be trimmed. But I want to have lots of figs. I love figs. I want to put some olives. I mean, just look how beautiful this land is. See, there's another little baby pecan tree, but look at this oak tree. Look how big he is. Maybe I'll turn it this way, you can see. I mean, he's got to be, what, 8? At least, he's bigger than 6 feet. The trunk, I would say 8 feet wide. He's huge. He certainly was a pretty big guy. Look how big he is. Look. He's just beautiful. He's just beautiful. Yeah, that's what it's all about for me. That's what it's all about for me, is to get up and look at nice land. You can see, look, this is what it is. Look, it's the best piece of land I found. See, there's nice donkeys, horses this guy's got. He's got guinea fowl. He's got beautiful land. And over here there's nothing. There's hundreds and hundreds of acres out here where there's nobody here to bother me. And I would... It goes and goes and goes and goes. There's nothing. It's just very quiet. Very quiet. I'm going to walk back so you can see. But I'd like to just look. Just you can see. Beautiful. This will be my final resting spot, I think, Daddy. I'm very tired. Very tired. I get the good truck. I'll take good care of it. It should last me for 20 years. Sure, it doesn't fall apart. Change the oil. Keep up with things. Here's my neighbor. He's got a nice house. He's got a tractor. That's one thing I want to buy is a little tractor. And I think a nice one of those zero-turn lawnmowers I'm going to need. Because I got a lot of land. And it's very fast. I'll get a tractor with a 7 or 8 foot bush hog on it. So I can cut it real fast. So I'm just going to walk a little bit so you can see the neighbors and different things. So here's, look at my neighbor's house. I think it's a very nice house. He lives here. His name is Pete. He lives with his wife. I've never met the wife. It's about as ideal as I could get for myself. $115,000 for the land. It's a lot of money for me. I don't really have. But I'm going to put it in Junior somehow. I want to do it so it's for him. Here I'm walking up so you can see that's that bayou. It's all my property. In fact, where the truck is, see the road, I have to put a road in to the right, but that's the road, I guess to the road to the land I own. I think it's an acre or two on the road as well as mine, or just a half an acre. I forget exactly the amount, but it's private property that I guess you got to leave for the road. So here's that bayou again. This usually gets full of water. As I come out, you'll see it's over here, a lot of growth. I'd like to be able to find a way to implement, maybe put trees in different, and trees that love to live on the side of a bayou. On the side of a bayou, and what I mean by that is food plants, something they can eat. Everything I'm going to do is not going to be, it's going to be for eating, not for looking great only. If it looks great, great. So here's my other neighbor. Now this is the realtor and her husband Chuck. Heidi and Chuck, they're very, very nice. And see, they made a nice place. This is what I'm talking about. They have 10 acres. And that's what I want to do, the way they did it. Clean it up nice. Put the road in. And you see their horses over there. You can get a good idea how nice it is. The other day over here I saw a big deer. He was right here and he jumped over that fence. I took a picture of him. And you can see, I just really like it here. This is the first time I've walked this area. Well, I walked with Junior last summer. And I just want to be able to go home and look at it, share it with people that care a little bit. I don't think it'd be too many people, but at least I'll share it with myself. So it's got beautiful land. You got all the nice fence. You got this beautiful, you got 4 horses. They're very good, nice. Even with 4 horses, they keep it very well trimmed. Maybe I can keep a couple of their horses over mine. They said that I could keep a couple of the horses over at my property to help with the grass, which would be welcome. I just want to walk down a little bit more because there's a very, very nice pond over here. One of the neighbors built it, but you can see it's just all beautiful. I mean, look at all the trees. They're all pecan. This would be part of an old pecan orchard. Now we're in November, when there's not many leaves. Pecans don't hold their leaves very long, but you can still see, even without leaves, how nice they look. There's all live oaks and pecan trees. They're beautiful. And look at the beautiful horses, the beautiful land. So getting back over here, you can see this is the neighbor of the Heidi. Beautiful land, horses. This looks like a little baby pecan, and you see the windmill. That windmill actually is a working windmill. It turns a pump. It turns a pump for a well, and it fills this pond up. And look how beautiful it is here. So it turns this here. You can see the horses, and there's this man-made pond that they put in. It's beautiful. This looks like some sort of fruit tree or this apple or peach. Looks like a peach tree, right? Should be trimmed, right? But it's beautiful nonetheless. You see? Yeah. It's really nice. They got all crepe myrtle. I want to go look at that windmill. On the fence. It's probably electric. There's electric. Very nice fence, right? So this, I don't know if you can see that this window, that's not running down. Oh, there it goes a little bit. There's a windmill here. See? And it turns a pump. And in this pump, let's see if we can get in there. This is private property, I don't want to get in trouble. This goes up and down as the just beautiful. So looking out, as you can see, we're up high. They say that this land has never flooded. The whole area might flood. It won't flood this particular lot. It's up high in the middle. So we're going to keep the driveway and the house in the middle of the lot, which is higher than the rest of the lot. And then I want to build the house up another 2 or 3 feet, I believe. But I have to find out for sure what the engineer says, the surveyor.